I never imagined a white SUV blocking our ranch gate would end up half submerged in our creek on purpose and perfectly legal. But that's exactly what happened when a self-important HOA president decided she could push our family off the land we've worked for nearly a century. She underestimated the wrong guy, or more specifically, my grandpa, who knows California water law like most folks know their kids' birthdays. Our ranch sits on 65 acres of oak-covered hills, with a creek that winds right through it, like a natural boundary line. That creek isn't just scenic, it's historic, and according to some paperwork from 1922, it's ours to protect. I run a welding business out here, Jackson Precision Welding. We do aircraft-grade parts, FAA certified and everything. It's quiet. Precise work, but apparently not quiet enough for Brenda Carter, the president of Glenview Heights HOA. She showed up one day parked dead center in front of our gate, hopped out in a blazer, and heels, holding a clipboard boss, like she was inspecting a crime scene. Didn't even say hi. Just started taking photos of our property like we were squatters. I asked her politely what she was doing. She barely looked up and said, "Community Standards Inspection." I told her she was on private property. She smiled and said, "That's exactly the problem." From the porch, Grandpa Frank watched the whole thing. Didn't say a word, just rocked in his chair and spat into a coffee can. But his eyes locked on her like a hawk tracking a squirrel. A few days later, she came back with a better camera, some kind of fake-looking badge, and a new attitude. She documented everything: our truck, my signage, even Frank's tobacco spit pattern. I told her again to leave. She said, "Properties like yours need oversight." Frank came down from the porch, holding sweet tea, like a peace offering. I don't know how he did it, but 20 minutes later, she was talking about her divorce, her mortgage crisis, and how our ugly ranch was tanking the property values in her neighborhood. That's when it clicked. This wasn't about the community. This was personal. Next came the real attack. We got visits from the building department, the health inspector, and the fire marshal all within a week. Someone had lodged anonymous complaints. Each time, Grandpa pulled out records so old and thorough, they made the inspectors feel like rookies. Nothing stuck. But it cost me time, money, and a good chunk of my patience. Then, clients started backing out. Vendors started acting weird. One client finally showed me an email Brenda sent around warning about our regulatory issues. She made it sound like we were some fly-by-night chop shop. I lost 40% of my revenue in 2 weeks. That's when I snapped. Drove to her house, confronted her right there in her perfect little flower bed. She didn't yell. She didn't deny anything. Just said, "Join the HOA, follow the rules, or lose your business." I came home feeling beat. Told Frank maybe we should move. He looked at me and said, "We ain't done yet," and he meant it. Because the next time Brenda showed up, she parked across both entrances full blockade style. She brought a camp chair, snacks, even a charger. She live-streamed the whole thing, called it Day 1 of Community Standards Enforcement. I was ready to lose it. Grabbed a sledgehammer and headed her way, but Grandpa stopped me cold. Took the hammer and said, "One more day. Trust me." That night, he disappeared into the basement. I didn't know he had a whole archive down there. Folders, blueprints, survey maps, all of it perfectly preserved. Turns out in 1922, my great-grandfather secured full water rights to this land, including access through what is now Glenview Heights. Blocking our easement wasn't just rude. It was a federal crime. Next morning, Frank made his move. County surveyor pulled up, followed by someone from the water authority and a tow truck. Frank strolled right up to Brenda's camp setup, looked her in the eye, and said, "Morning, Miss Carter. Lovely day to learn about easement law." She tried to blow him off, but when the surveyor laid out the maps, showed her SUV was smack on a protected access path, and Frank handed over the original 1922 agreement, her jaw dropped. Her live stream caught every second of it. The tow truck backed up, hooked her car, and rolled it gently, very gently into our creek. Not a scratch, just wet. Very, very wet. Brenda went through all 5 stages of meltdown in real time. Denial, rage, bargaining, full collapse. The county hit her with over $2,000 in fines. Her HOA kicked her off the board. We got $8,000 in damages. And best of all, our clients came back. That night, Grandpa and I sat on the porch, watching the water trickle past her parked SUV. He rocked slowly, looked at me and said, "So what'd you learn?" I said, "Don't mess with old paperwork." He chuckled. "You learned how to fight smart, son. Because sometimes the best revenge is patience and a copy of the original deed. So if you've ever had to deal with HOA nonsense, drop your story in the comments. And if you think justice was served in the most satisfying way possible, hit that like button, because sometimes the loudest person in the room isn't the one with the power. It's the one with the paperwork